In this week's programme, we catch up with 3 medalists from the 2014 Commonwealth Games, and we have news and views from the world of clay shooting. Steve, we'll start with you first. How does it feel to have that gold medal around your neck?
Pretty special. It's nice to get it obviously within Great Britain. Shot off with my teammate Matt French, which made it a little bit more special. Obviously training here before East Yorkshire Shooting Ground. Me and Matt's been doing quite a bit of training together, so it's nice to come down to a close tie between good friends, and lucky enough I got one extra target than he did.
And how proud do you feel, because you were the shooting captain, so how proud do you feel about that?
Extremely proud actually. I was just bragging about on the way up here in the car. I was like, yeah, your captain done pretty good. Yeah, I was all chilling in the car having a laugh and seeing someone annoyingly he's like sleeping in the back because I was the designated driver, being the sensible one and the captain. But no, really chuffed.
And Matt, just coming to you, I mean, that final was, it's a very tense final.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't have done any more. I mean, Scotty put the perfect score in, but how did you feel going into that?
I felt very confident. We were both shooting well going into that final, and we were both just over the moon really that it was between the two of us. It was kind of the dream scenario that we talked about, and you always hope will happen. I struggled to come off and feel disappointed because I'd shot so well, and any other day and 99 times out of 100 I'd have come away with the gold, but you can't beat a man that doesn't miss, and fair play to Scotty. He's stuck in a perfect round at the perfect time, and deserved gold medalist.
Charlotte, coming on to you. I mean, you made history. 4 golds for you now. How did it feel on the day?
It felt amazing. I mean, I have to be honest, I was a little bit nervous because I haven't really been shooting much double trap, and obviously the rules have changed now. So my good friend over here gave me some coaching whilst we were up there.
Waiting to be paid.
Because I was struggling a bit with the new kind of system, and just trying to figure out a simple way to kind of shoot it really, than getting too complicated how these guys do it and counting and all that sort of stuff. But no, it was really good, and it felt really good to shoot double trap again. I love shooting it.
And for you, Charlotte, shooting 2 major competitions in the last 2 years on home soil, obviously London and then up in Glasgow from a Great Britain perspective. What does it mean and what does it feel like to shoot at a home games?
It's the best feeling. I mean, I have to say that I'm very lucky because I've been to Manchester home games, I've been to London Olympic home games, and now up in Scotland. I mean, I don't think it really gets much better than that, and the support up there was fantastic.
Which is the best gold for you?
I think they're all special for different reasons. I think Manchester will always be a little bit more special to me because it was my first one, and it was at Bisley and everyone was watching there.
And Steve, just coming on to you, and question for all 3 of you really, but very much for you, Steve. I mean, 2 years' time looking for Rio. Is the Commonwealth a really good springboard for you?
Without a doubt, because it's only other multi-sport competition that we shoot other than the Olympics. So it's I wouldn't say it's a trial run. It's still extremely important to go and compete and win. It's just like for me, it's just like a miniature version of the Olympics. So yeah, it's very important.
And Matt, looking at double trap as well. I mean, at the moment, real rich vein of form. Obviously, 2 years ago, Pete with his fantastic win. We've got yourself and Steve, and also Tim putting in the world record earlier this year. What do you guys put the double trap success down to?
It's purely hard work. Years and years of really hard work have gone into making the fantastic squad of shooters we've got. And there's some really good, genuine strength in depth. And hopefully we can follow that up by bringing on some very good juniors now to eventually replace us when we're too old and we've had enough. But it is a combination of 8 to 10 years of training as a squad, and doing the right things and constantly working on your technique. We're still working on new things now, trying to improve.
There's a big sacrifice, I think, for Matt here. I believe you missed your boy's first steps.
Yeah.
So for him here to miss that as well, it is a big sacrifice for Matt. I'm not in his situation at the minute, but I remember him saying, I've missed my boy's first step. But lucky enough, you had a couple of days away as well, didn't you? To see
That's
him
right.
Walk about. So no.
It's purely it's hard work, and I say the sacrifices, and we all have to make to get to where you want to be, and it's wonderful when it pays off.
Yeah.
Charlotte, for you, I mean, the guys are talking about sacrifice, but equally for you over the years, you know, looking at that first gold when you were 15, there is a huge amount of sacrifice to get to the top, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, but I mean, for me, I love shooting, and you know, I see my friends, they've got, you know, nice house, nice cars, things like that, but I wouldn't change my life for the world. You know, I've been able to travel around the world, I've been able to meet great people, I get to do a sport that I love. So as far as I'm concerned, you know, it is a big sacrifice, but it's one that we're all willing to make because we love shooting.
And just one final question to all three of you, and just nice to have an answer from each of you. You know, how can we now springboard on with the sport of clay shooting, be it the Olympic disciplines or the other disciplines as well? You know, how can we make the most of the success over the last 2 or 3 years?
I think for us, it's all about support really, and it's all about the people kind of behind you and helping you along really. I mean, I think British shooting have shown that we've got the talent. We've done really well the last few years, and like we say, the hard work's all paid off. We've all been shooting a long time now, and it's the results are starting to show, and I think it's just that we all kind of need that support and backing from, you know, our governing bodies and, you know, the people behind the scenes to take us to that next step.
And for you, Steve?
Yeah, I agree. The other thing is as well publicity, like obviously what you're doing, clay shooting TV. It's good to get our names out there and obviously promote the success of shooting where it hasn't been as such in the past. So I reckon that's another big key factor to pushing the sport up, getting it more in the public eye, and hopefully getting some more funding as well.
And Matt?
Yeah, again, for me, it's investment in the right areas, like Charlotte was talking about, and Scotty. The backroom staff are the ones you don't see that often, but you need that support to get the best things out of you at the right time, and to help you progress, because it is hard, and you will get there without the backroom staff, but it takes you so much longer. And we need more investment in infrastructure and various other projects like the Talent Pathway and Academy we have running now within British shooting. Hopefully, as that develops and they get to grips with what's really required, that will produce some good shooters in years to come. And we really need the investment in newer facilities and updating facilities we have, because you can't produce world-class shooters with poor facilities. They need to be training in the right places. It's not good having to sit in your car for 3 hours to get somewhere, and I think we all agree we don't have enough Olympic facilities in this country, and we need more. All the best nations in the world have great facilities dotted all over the place, training centres, so that everyone can go and work together like we do. We just spend far more time in the car than we probably should. So longer term, I think for a brighter future, that's what's important for me.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for all three of you just taking that time. I know you've just literally got up early this morning from Glasgow, or went to bed early this morning. But again, congratulations on your success. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
The Stratton 7 was such a great success last year, and we spoke with James Brearley and the team at Pendragon, who owns Stratstones, about how we could evolve it for this year. And given in our world, probably the Range Rover is the ultimate vehicle, we were delighted when Stratton came back and said, well, the ultimate one in our world would be the new long wheelbase autobiography Range Rover, which is being launched in the UK later this year. So the car you see here is a long wheelbase, but it's not the autobiography black, which will be the one that we'll be presenting to the winner hopefully next February.
And how can somebody win this?
How could they win it? Those that entered it last year would say with a degree of luck. I would say with the ability to shoot as though you're a pheasant shooter. I think that the whole thing was set up to be, given that we are a game shooting school, and when John Hedron posted the highest score of the final, he told me he shot it just as though he was on a pheasant drive. So I've had James Percy here this morning saying they'll be simulating his linnet pheasants. So hopefully he'll be coming in and having a go in October.
So the format is the same format as last year?
Slightly different in as much as last year David Duggan kindly presented the Rolex watch with the highest score out of 100, which George managed to achieve on the third day. So what we're doing is the highest score each week out of the 100 we've now got Bollinger Champagne on board, so they will be giving a bottle of champagne to the highest score each week, and at the end of the qualifying period all those weekly winners will be invited back to win a Rolex Submariner, again courtesy of David Duggan, at the final. So it builds it up so anybody could win it on the day, but it's a great £5,000-6,000 watch, which in itself is a great prize. But when you add a £140,000 car to it, it probably makes it the biggest prize fund of any shoot in the world.
And in terms of that, we're seeing clay shooting very much in a growth stage. We're also seeing game shooting as a growth stage. So do you see this competition being able to combine both clay and game shooters?
I think it's as much trying to educate the game shooters that you can learn from clay pigeons, and that's be it whether they come to a shooting ground such as ours or whether they do really well clay days and simulate games. It's like any sportsman would say, practice does make perfect, and I think it's trying to make clay pigeon shooting enjoyable. Game shooters are not necessarily driven by scoring so many out of 10, but I think in the context of this competition, for clay shooters, to have the ability to shoot very, very good high tower birds off a selection of traps rather than just one automatic sub on the top of a tower makes it very interesting for them from both a technical and a fun element. We started on October the 6th and it'll run through till the end of January, so it'll overlap our game shooting interest in the season, and those that didn't enter last year or left till the last week have already told me they'll be in very early this time to try and get the repeat entries. And they can enter as many times as they like.
And what's the cost of it?
£50 gives you 50 clays warm-up, and then you actually get 2 goes on the big tower. So, and then obviously those with the higher score will go through the final, and then we'll be having that sometime in February, date to be confirmed.
Do people have to pre-register to enter?
Yeah, because everybody will be going out with one of our 7 instructors, we need them to pre-book. We can then ensure they've got the adequate time. There's no need to rush. They can get the opportune when they want to go in and shoot the stand. So yes, it's very much a pre-booking basis.